It can be very, very emotionally disturbing if you were to land this in the middle of a busy street and it were immediately to get run over by multiple cars. Well, hello, beautiful people. Welcome to another edition of the Mursegeorge channel. We are flying again, the faithful, the wonderful DJI Air 3. Guess what, folks? This is a brand new Air 3. Today is the first day I have ever flown it. Although I've owned the Air 3 for about 2 months. All right, man, I have a story to tell you. So it can be very, very emotionally disturbing if you were to land this in the middle of a busy street and it were immediately to get run over by multiple cars. That's what happened, folks. I made a big, big error, and it was completely a user error. Yeah, so yours truly, Mursegeorge, messed up. I made such a user error. So I was flying this thing, and it's all pretty new to me still. I've had this a couple of months, but it's hard to find time to fly. A family and a job and children and whatnot. So it comes with this, and this is an amazing controller, and I love it. But flying in the daylight can be brutal. Trying to see on fighting the sun and this screen. This is an amazing screen, but it doesn't, compete with the sun. So a solution to that is the DJI goggles, and they have several versions. And you can't just buy any one. You have to buy the one that's compatible with your drone. My big error is I was flying my original plane and using the goggles 3, which are the good ones, the comfortable ones, but I was using, instead of this remote, I was using this one. This is the motion controller. So y'all remember the Wii game systems, the motion control, you could play games and the remote control would allow you to input control by what you do with your motion. Anyway, this works the same way, and you can direct the plane or drone with this. So anyway, there's all kinds of, so there's a button to go this way, to go forward, to go reverse. This is camera control. This is start your engines, take off and land. This is pause where you're at and return to home. And then this is go up, go down, go left, go right. And then if you want to just rotate in place, you just like this and then pull the trigger just barely and it turns. Anyway, there's so much functionality in this thing. And you actually have to take some time to learn how to control it and what it does and get used to it and commit a little bit to memory so that you get comfortable. And just something about being new to flying drones, just naturally, just instinctively, you're apprehensive because you don't want to piss anybody off. You don't want to get in trouble. You don't want to break the law. You don't want to crash your very expensive drone. You don't want to lose your very expensive drone. You don't want to break your equipment. There's so many things to think about and be mindful of and worry about that you're just on edge and you're apprehensive. And if you're not familiar with the control and all the functionality and the buttons and what does what, you're very likely to make an error. That is what I did. So this was flying probably about a mile away from me. So, I couldn't see it, but my spotter could. But in any case, I just thought, you know what? I'm just going to return to home. So I just wanted to push a button, and return to home function works like this. As soon as you, take off, when you begin your flying, it locks onto GPS satellites and it remembers your position, your home position. So you go flying, and for whatever reason, you just want to return to home, or you lose connection between your goggles or the controller and the plane, and you lose connection, so it just returns to home. So anyway, what I did is, it was like a mile away, and it was over a busy street, a very busy street, not a neighborhood street, but a street that goes in between neighborhoods. And in any case, I pushed the return to home button, or what I thought was the return to home button, and what it was is the land button. So it landed in the middle of a busy street, and it immediately got ran over by countless cars. So when I lost communication with the drone, I'm thinking, well, it's supposed to return to home, and it didn't. So I go looking for it, And what do I find? Because I knew where it was. I knew where the last vicinity was. So I go to that location and I look around. Any traces of my drone? Oh yeah, there were some traces. Pancake flattened, a million pieces, tiny little pieces everywhere. The fuselage was squashed, and the battery had been popped out and ran over us many times, so it was squashed too. Everything was destroyed. There was no hope of salvaging anything. So, this is a $1,200 drone. So naturally, I became worried. But I knew that I had DJI Care Refresh, it's called. It's it's insurance on your drone in case you crash it, in case it flies away. They call it fly away. So what that means is you're flying your drone, and for whatever reason, it just flies away and you lose control and contact with it. You never see it again. That's called a flyaway because you've lost it and you weren't able to recover it. That's a flyaway. What happened to me, that's considered a crash because although it wasn't the kind of crash where it just, crashed into a wall or something. It landed and it got destroyed. And because I was able to go find the zillion pieces it was left in and mail that back to the DJI manufacturer, they called that a recovery. So they they hooked me up, man. I just got this today. It's brand new. They may say it's refurbished or reconditioned, but I cannot see that is the case. It came in a package like it was brand new, and it looks like it's brand new, and I have every confidence that it is brand new. So in any case, that's what their coverage gets you. Now you do have to pay for that coverage. I paid for 2 years and it was $189, but ask me now if it was worth it. Yeah, it was worth it because, man, I was really disappointed in myself, and I thought I just wasted over $1,000 like that. But they came through. DJI came through. Now there are some stipulations. Of course, you pay for it up front, and you can just buy 1 year. And I guess 1 year is probably, I don't know, probably 100 or half of what I paid. Um, but in any case, I got 2 years, so I'm glad I did. You're only allowed to make so many claims. So a flyaway, like I explained, I think you can do that maybe 2 times a year. And then the damage, I think you can do that maybe 3 or 4 times a year. So of course I got 2 years, so everything's double for me. But in any case, I hope I don't have to make any more claims. And yeah, just like any insurance, you do have to pay a small deductible. I paid $100, and to me, it was well worth it. Let this be a lesson, and let this be informative too as to the DJI Care Refresh program. It's worth it. You have to follow the rules though. One thing that is often overlooked, and people get denied with their claim because of this, and that is binding. Okay, know that there is a difference between linking and binding. Say you've got a new setup and you want a new controller, new plane, you want to, and this one, a new goggles, new. Anyway, you're pairing, you're linking two devices. That's not the same thing as binding. Okay, we're speaking DJI language here. Okay, so if you link it, and you're flying, because you can link it and fly without it being binding. So obviously, you know what I'm talking about. If something is paired, if something's linked, then they have control, communication with one another. Okay, so let me move on to the next thing. Binding. Binding is you go to the DJI Air app. So it's the app that you use to just do all kinds of things when it comes to flying their drones. It'll give you access to maps. It'll keep records of your flights. You can use it to download firmware updates and stuff. And you can also use it to bind your devices. So when I say bind, what I'm talking about is you have, a DJI setup here. You've got the goggles, or maybe you don't have the goggles. Maybe you just have this. But anyway, these are linked together because you're using them to fly with one another. But if you want to take advantage of their insurance program, you have to bind these devices together with that policy. So what that means is you use that app, and you upload the serial number on each of these, and that is linked and stays in the DJI app, so they have access to it. So they know that that care plan, that insurance policy plan, protection, coverage, care refresh, whatever you want to call it, is associated with these devices. So if something goes wrong, they have some ability to like look at the flight data. They have a little black box, and they know what was going on when the accident happened, or where it went, where it last went before it lost connection or whatever. If you flew it into a pool of water, they're probably going to see that too. I'm not saying that that would prevent them from insuring it. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it gives them some idea to figure out what was going on. And sometimes it's necessary. If you say that you didn't do anything wrong and your equipment messed up, so it's your fault, they're going to look into it and see if it is DJI's fault. But if you're just honest, like I was, I told them, because they asked for an explanation, so you have to type out and give whatever evidence you have. If you have photographic evidence, if you have video footage from your recording from a camera, and they want you to type out your version of what happened. And I did. I told them, hey, I messed up, man. I was flying this thing, my plane, we're using my goggles, and I was flying with this, and I was unfamiliar with this, and I thought that I was calling for it to return to home, and instead I called for it to land, and it landed in a busy street, and it got ran the hell over, and it was destroyed. And I told them that, and they're like, cool, no problem, got you. We'll get you a new one right away. Pretty much, that's what they said. So the whole thing took me, with communication, emails and whatnot, and they're suffering from shortages too, just like every place else. The stock is low, so I was like, man, I know they're saying that they have low stock on some of their stuff, so I hope it don't take months and months or a long time, really, even to get my plane. So the whole thing from beginning to end, from the time I first made the claim until the time I got it, which was today, 10 days. It took me 10 days. So it's possible, we could have sped it up a little bit, but I'm satisfied. 10 days, and it cost me $100 to fix like a $1,200 mistake on my part. I'll take it. I was inconvenienced for 10. I didn't have a plane for 10 days. That sucked, but it was my fault, and I'm just glad I wasn't out so much more money. Let this be a lesson. Let my mistakes be a lesson for you so that you can avoid my headaches. All right, and thanks. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Head up, feet on the ground, oh baby, I need a miracle. It's in my head, darling, I hope that you'll be here when I need you the most. And in a world so cruel, all I need is you to come and take my pain away. Fill me with you right now, I think I'm losing my mind. Don't let me down, don't let me down. Can't kill this feeling I have, I got nowhere else to go. Waiting for you to track me down. Where did you go, where did you go? Can't swim, I'm losing my grip, oh baby, I need a miracle.